A local town trying to budget next year's property taxes looked at the home value of the 233 houses in the township. Here's the frequency table the town budget office put out. So you have the housing price from $300,000 way up till $790,000, and these are the number of houses that fall into that class. First question is, what is the class boundary of 500K through 590K class? So this 500 is called the lower class limit. 590 would be called the upper class limit, 590,000. But what you have to realize is that this is not the true boundary of this class. What happens if a home value is assessed at $592,000? Well, they'll be above 590, it will be less than 600, so where does it go? Well, it's closer to 590, so it belongs here. So if you think about what the actual boundary between these two classes is, the actual boundary is right at the midpoint between the two, where if it's exactly at the middle, it will be categorized as the next one, because we often round up if it's exactly in the midway. Okay, so to find the lower class, for example, lower class boundary, then we would take the average of these two. So what we do is we take 490 plus 500 divided by 2, and that gives you 495K. Okay, and then the upper one, if you do the same thing, 590 plus 600 divided by 2, you're going to get 595K. What is the median class and the model class? Okay, so the median class is, suppose you had the actual raw data of this table, which we don't, but let's assume that we have it, and we write the numbers from the least expensive to the most expensive. Then the one that appears right at the middle is what we call the median class. In some cases, you don't have the middle because you have even number of items. Then in that case, you take the middle two and take the average. That's what you have to do to get median class if you have even number of items. But here we have odd numbers, so what you do is you think about the 233 and divide it by 2. That's going to give you 216.5. So the median will be 117th house will be the median. If we write down the home value from the least to the most expensive, the one that appears at the 117th, that's going to be the median one. And therefore, what you do is you're going to see where this 117th house would fit. See, 21 plus 39 is 60. 60 plus 64 is 124, and 117 is less than 124, but it's bigger than 60, so that really belongs in here, right? So we can say, since 117 is bigger than 21 plus 39, which is 60, and 117 is less than 21 plus 39 plus 64, which is 124, 117th house belongs to the 500K to 590K class. Okay, so this is the median class. This is the median class. On the other hand, the modal class is simply the class with the highest frequency, which is this one, 66, right? So the modal class is the 600K to 690K. All right, what is the relative frequency and the cumulative relative frequency of this class? Well, the relative frequency means you want to know the proportion this class has out of the 233. So what you have to do is you have to divide 64 by 233, So I do this, and that value is going to give me 0.27. If I round to the nearest thousands, it will be 0.275. So here I have 0.275, which is, in terms of percentages, it's 27.5%. Okay. And often you're asked to write the relative frequency in terms of percentages, so you should know how to convert it. Okay. Now, what is the cumulative relative frequency then? Well, that's the relative frequency of not just this class, but including everything before it. So it's really 21 plus 39 plus 64, which is 124. And then you divide that by 233. So let's do that. So quote, parenthesis, you have 21 plus 39 plus 64, and then you divide it by 233. Forgot to put a division there. 233. And that gives you 0.532. 0.532, which is equal to 53.2%. Okay, what is the class midpoint of 500 through 590? Class midpoints are simply you just add the two numbers, the lower limit and the upper limit, and divide by 2. So you want to do 500 plus 590 divided by 2, which is equal to 545K. Okay, now here comes the most time-consuming part of the question. Estimate the average home value using class midpoints. I want to show you how to do this by hand, but then on the exam you probably want to use the calculator. That's a lot easier to do. Okay, so let me first show you how to do this if you were to do it by hand. We don't have access to the raw numbers, so when you see 21, you don't know the exact value of each of the 21 houses. So you have to use your best guess. What's the best guess? Well, you just use the midpoint of this one, which is 345. So instead of the actual values, which we don't have access to, what we're going to do is we're going to say 345 is the midpoint, and that's going to be added 21 times. 345 plus plus 345. Oh, but wait, if you add something many, many times, that's the same as multiplication, right? So you do 345 times 21. And then you go to the next one, which is 445 times 39 plus 545 times 64 plus 645 times 66 plus 745 times 43, and then you divide by the total number of items, which is 21 plus 39. I know that this is 233, but sometimes that's not given, so I'm trying to show you how to solve this in most generality. So you punch this into your calculator, and that will give you the average value. And I guess that's not too bad, but on the final exam, you might be also asked to find the variance, and in that case, you really don't want to use it this way because that's just too time-consuming. So let me show you how to do this using a calculator. You can go to Stat and go to Edit. I have some other values here, so let me just clear, and then enter. Deletes the list. Okay, so you go to the list one, click clear, and then enter, deletes the list. Okay, so you have this, and then what I'm going to put in here will be all the midpoints. So here's 345, 445, 545, 645, and 745. Okay. And now you go to list 2 and type in the frequency: 21, 39, 64, 66, 43. Okay, now second quit. And what you want to do is you want to go to Stat again and you want to go to Calc right here and click the one variable stats. So enter one variable stats. List one is the list of numbers, but then you have the frequency table, so you need a frequency list. So for this one, you have to type in list 2. How do you do that? Well, you go to second list and choose list 2, and then you go and calculate. Right? Calculate, and that gives you everything, and the number that we want is the X bar. X bar is the symbol for the average. If you have a bar on top, that means the average. So the average value is 575.47. 575.47. Okay, so that's it. That's how you solve this question.